Okay, so this is part 2 of my July video. So I mentioned in part 1 about all the flows and cycles of life, and this card just validates that and moves on beautifully. It says cycles of growth, natural law, and divine order, and the title is Sisters of the Seasons. This is from one of Colleen Barrett Reid's packs. And her cards are very illustrious and deeply complex about the human psyche, and they're really evolved, interesting cards to work with and quite fantastical as well. But anyway, so we have figures here emerging from the trees, and trees represent growth and grounding. And just see how they're just naturally within the elements. And I'm feeling, okay, that's just come to me now. So the 4 elements, we have the sky. So that's the air element. And see how she's just beautifully nested there in the air. We also have the fire element and the water element and the, what's the other one? Fire, earth. Okay, and then we have the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. And those of you who are interested in magic and that kind of thing and practicing that kind of thing, or just sort of natural spirituality, then, you know, you'll get a lot of meaning out of this card too. So we have this sense of being grounded and being comfortable at where you are at now. And look, isn't that funny? I just mentioned the flute at the end of my last video, and she's playing a flute as well. So that's by no accident either. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, and then this card here is about discerning details and being really clear with your vision of what you want. He reminds me of the magician, in those of you who understand tarot cards or have some knowledge of it. The magician is a card where he uses all his tools to create what he wants, just like the law of attraction that I mentioned in the other video. So this is about creating and manifesting your desires, and see the power and the magic that comes out of his wand. And then it's so bright that the magnifying glass is burning through the paper. So I feel that there is a lot of power in that, and see the look on his face. It's like he knows what he wants and he's focusing on it. I've got a focus card which I'll bring up next, but I also want to say about this that his arms really elongated and coming towards us, and it's highlighted. So I feel like this is representing the power of your hand, and also it's his right hand, and the right side represents the male energies of action and structure. So I'm feeling structure through the card here. It also reminds me of the Emperor card in tarot. Okay, and so we have the Emperor is the idea of structure and organization and, you know, getting things done and all that kind of thing. And we have the bookcase in the background here. So knowledge. This person is coming from a wise stance of knowledge. And, you know, there's a lot of work being done in this book. And the pages are turning, and he's got his candle. Again, it's a white candle that I mentioned in the other video. So I'm feeling that there's a lot of messages there. So I'm feeling the main message coming through of this is to, when you are focusing on what you want. So let's say there's, you know, look, there's so much talk about manifestation, and you can get swamped by the whole thing, and maybe you've tried and it hasn't worked, or this and that. But what I want to say for now about it is that try. Let's say you use the new moon energy, because the new moon is about birthing new ideas and intentions. And let's say that you choose one thing that you would like to bring forward in your life for that next month, for that next 28 days after the new moon. So make it really practical, something that you think can bring into your life. Don't make it something like $1 million or a Lamborghini. We're talking about something like, I want to be inspired, or I want to have more harmony in my relationship or my family life or in my home, or I'd like to get 1 page of some writing done, or I want to clear my tax issues, or whatever it is. Okay, so make it something that's prevalent and meaningful to you, and then focus on that. Light your white candle and do your magic work. And this just means you don't have to be hocus pocus like a witch. You know, you could just be so simple and natural as just by trusting and setting that intention, putting that energy out there, and that energy, you'll become part of that energy, and that energy will work for you. Okay, so to move on with that, I mentioned the focus. So I feel like this is focusing on your intentions and really setting the groundwork for that. And I feel like the angels are saying here that a clearing will be made, like I've mentioned before too, in an open window, and that magic is there for you and to follow the road that will come. There might be some rocky, wavy waters, but go with the flow, like I mentioned before. Go with the tides. There's the clouds. We've got all the symbology there. It's just amazing. Now the purple crystals here, amethyst, represent our psychic senses and our third eye chakra as well. So this is about trusting in your intuition and building upon that. That's a great thing that you can manifest for yourself, is heightened intuition and awareness. That would also be perfect for July because it's the 7th month of the year, and the number 7 resonates to high spirituality, going inwards and seeking knowledge from your intuition. And I write a lot more about the number 7 in my newsletter, so take a look at the link below. Okay, so as we do that, it's important for us to let go of fear. Okay, so we have Archangel Michael message here with his sword, and I'm feeling like his vision is ahead here. Again, the third eye. This is the third eye area, which is our psychic eye. The prayer says, Archangel Michael, please help me feel safe and deserving of your guidance. There's that word deserving again. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. Keep this in mind any time that you kind of go backwards, that you kind of feel like you're taking a step back, or that you're getting hit or bombarded or affected by energy. Or you're starting to fear or doubt yourself. So that's when you call upon Archangel Michael. So have a look back at the video when that happens to you. And this says, admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. This is focusing on the truth that is within you. We have the horse unicorn here. So a reminder that it's a horse year this year. And that ties in nicely with other things I've written in my newsletter as well. And this is about being honest with yourself so that you can then come from a standpoint of integrity in order to move forward and step forward from there. So that's really important. So if you're feeling a little bit stuck or like something's keeping you entangled or sort of bound, then ask Archangel Michael to cut those cords with his sword around you. Envision that light around you and go back to the light that I mentioned in my first video, and come back to the truth of yourself and the innocence of yourself. And this sort of represents for me too your sensitivity and going back to simplicity, going back to just an innocence by, enjoying children and nature and simplicity and all those things. We have the water and the light and the clouds and all those symbols coming back again. So embrace the light and embrace the changes and the flows and the cycles. Okay, so to finish off here, just a couple of more messages. These are cards from Spirit, which I've mixed with other cards as well. So life is a series of choices. Choose love. So whenever you're not sure, or like I said before, if you sort of get bombarded or you're going a bit backwards, you have to make a choice. Just remember, choose love. Love wins. This really reminds me of a mother and a child. So, choose the love, choose what you know is right for you, and again, what's with your integrity. And this one says you have nothing to feel guilty about. So some of you are feeling undeserving or guilty. They're saying, no, now if you've had a loved one that's passed away, this message can be attached to that too. And I'm feeling a great sense of attachment to a loved one in spirit. So if you're open to letting go of that by still honoring, respecting and loving and being connected with this person, but letting go of the fearful cords and attachments, I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to come through now, and we can do this for anyone that's in your life alive or that's passed. Okay, so Archangel Michael, thank you for coming through to us right now. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for cutting cords to all fear, to all attachments, to anybody or any energy that is affecting us or holding us back, or that we have an unhealthy or negative attachment to. Please cut all cords around us in all time and space now. So just take some deep breaths and just spend time with that feeling of letting go. If you're emotional, that's fine, just let that go. And then thank Archangel Michael and the angels for being with us, for uplifting us, and for supporting us. And we have steps here. So I feel that these steps represent your journey ahead. So not only has, if you're thinking of a loved one, they've passed and obviously taken those steps to heaven, and they want you to know that they're okay. They're okay. They don't have any pain. So I'm going to pop that card here. I'm going to go with these spirit cards and pop them all together now. Okay. When somebody passes away, they don't have that pain anymore, the physical pain or the emotional trauma and so on. Sometimes they still carry that if they're earthbound spirit, meaning that they're hanging around earth. However, they've let it all go and they're learning lessons. And they're great. They're great in heaven. They're just, they're having a beautiful time and they're in their soul essence and they are learning lessons and they're preparing for their next journey. And so, know that they are well. And again, we have these yellow flowers here, so I'm feeling it's the solar plexus and the sun energy, and it's opening up. And I feel like they're saying for you to open up and have no fear, have no... you've maybe lost your sense of power sometimes. So they're reminding you to come back to that and to know that everything's okay. And I'm feeling that the green stalks here are representing your growth. They send you loving signs through nature. So maybe you've seen butterflies or things in nature that appear, or coins or feathers in your path, or whatever that is for you, something meaningful that will either remind you of that person. You might feel like it's a message from them or from spirit in general. So trust that they're sending you those signs. I think I got another card about that, but it's gone right now. Doesn't matter. Okay, so the last thing I want to say, oh yes, here it is. Okay, signs from heaven. And again, we have the beautiful pink flower, like in the first video, that blossoming pink flower, and with the blossoming awakening card, as well as the compassion Kuan Yin card. It says your loved ones in spirit. Funny, because this is from another deck, not to do with spirit, loved ones in spirit, but there you go, it came through. So see how it beautifully connects. So your loved ones in spirit are waving hello and giving you reassurance that you'll be okay. Okay, so please be reassured. Okay, so the last thing I want to say is this ancestor card came up, and we are connected to our ancestors through our